Peace and Justice Task Force is essentially Salem Presbytery's advocacy arm for matters of peace and justice. We are a task force, not a committee, so anyone who wants to join can join.
I think currently the main project that we've been engaging in is particularly for folks that are in ordained work, so teaching elders in our presbytery, setting an expectation that people that come here will complete this racial equity training so that we can help become a society and a church in particular that exudes peace and justice. A lot of our focus now also is under the Matthew 25 umbrella, which encompasses, building congregational vitality, dismantling structural racism, and eradicating systemic poverty. We also have been engaging with some work with the North Carolina Council of Churches on cash bail.
Many low-level offenses will get bail assigned to them in order to get out before for all the pretrial stuff. A lot of times the limit is set pretty low. It can be as low as $50, but that can keep someone who doesn't have $50 from coming home to their family. It leads to a lot of plea bargains. Even if you are not guilty, you don't have the money to get out before the trial. If you don't get out, you have no child care, you don't get to go to work. And so you'll admit to something that you haven't done, which creates systemically a lot of problems, because then you have a criminal record. In recent years, we have been doing work to recognize and memorialize victims of lynching throughout our presbytery. And then a third project that is something that we're really excited about and are about to really start promoting is an application process for members of the presbytery who want to engage in peace and justice in some way, shape, or form, to come to us and write up basically a grant proposal. Whatever it is, if there is something you feel led to, bring it to us, let us help fund that to make it possible.
We receive funds from the Peace and Global Witness offering every year, and so that's where we're getting some of these monies that we want to make more available to distribute to clergy and to folks that are passionate about peace and justice initiatives.
50% goes to the denomination, 25% stays in your local congregation, 25% goes to the presbytery to fund this task force. The 25% that we get from that offering once a year, it enables us to do some good stuff, but it doesn't enable us to do a lot. So with more money, we could do more to equip congregations to do the work that is meaningful in their contexts.
There are also things like the United Nations has an annual event called the Commission on the Status of Women that Presbyterian Women sends delegates to New York to engage on justice issues happening on an international level at the United Nations. Before COVID, we had a really wonderful civil rights pilgrimage that the Presbytery was able to sponsor, where we went to Montgomery and Birmingham, Alabama, and to visit the museum there, the Legacy Museum.
People think of the big church, the denomination, as this very far off entity that we're not necessarily super connected to. And so I feel like a lot of our work is bringing the large work of the church down to the congregation, but also lifting up the work of the congregations to that national level, because we have churches doing some really phenomenal work in Salem Presbytery. And so, we are the group that can help move that forward so that it can help lead the denomination in many ways. But I don't know anyone who thinks that the work of peace and justice is not a growth mechanism for the church. If you want to bring young people into the church, this is what we are passionate about. This is what gets you in front of people. I've been a part of the Peace and Justice Task Force since 2015. So much of the work of the church, especially as clergy, is administration and these mundane things that are so necessary, but aren't necessarily life-giving. This work is life-giving.
I would just echo what Wes said. This work is rich and meaningful and really in line with what I understand Christ to be calling churches and Christians to be doing. We are a fun task force. We have a really great group of people, but we love having more people. We love the exchange of ideas. We love creativity.
Our group gets together outside of meeting times because we enjoy each other so much. Just a few weeks ago, we did a tour of Guilford College and the connections with the Underground Railroad there in the pouring rain.
In the pouring rain.
And we had 50 odd people show up to that. Whereas a lot of the work of the presbytery is work. Ours is a lot of work too, and it's very serious work, but there's a lot more to it.